is News Channel 5 at 6.
And you gather the information from a spot like this and add it to other ones that we've excavated, and you get a regional picture of what life was like over 1,000 years ago.
A never-before look at Indian life in Illinois, life even before the ancient Cahokia Mounds, and the farmer's field that is helping paint the picture.
Cahokia Mounds is one of the best-known sites of ancient Indian culture in the nation. But a decision by a Clinton County, Illinois farmer leads to a discovery that helps put that site in perspective. Illinois Bureau Chief Steve Jankowski is live at Cahokia Mounds historic site with the story. Steve?
Well, Karen, decades before these mounds became part of our region's landscape, Indians roamed this region. In fact, one of the places that a group of those nomadic bands stayed was on a farm or on a farm field near Damiansville, Illinois, about 35 miles east of St. Louis. Now, that field is now providing a rich harvest for those studying our ancient history. Where plow blades have turned the soil for decades, members of the Illinois Transportation Archaeological Team are digging in what had been the living room of a family of woodland Indians.
Running this way was the ramp coming into the house, and then we've dug out the posts, or cross-section, the posts that made up the wall of the house.
State archaeologist Brad Koldehoff estimates the site could date back to 600 A.D. What his crew is uncovering amounts to Indian trash, a researcher's treasure.
It's just sort of the side wall of probably a jar. Would have had a constricted neck, but this is towards the base.
The crew was brought to the site when the family that has owned this land for 150 years considered selling the soil to provide needed material for a nearby bridge project. Their presence is required by state law.
Had an idea that there might have been some stuff here, but usually it's just arrowheads or pieces of arrowheads or pottery anymore.
But what is being uncovered in what had once been a keyhole-shaped home to some of the 30 or so Indians who wintered here helps complete a multifaceted cultural puzzle.
But we don't really know much about what happened in the area 1,000 years ago because there is no written record, so we're actually creating a page to put into that prehistoric history book.
When the work here is done, the site will be backfilled, and farmer Steve Calmer says he can easily see why anyone would choose the site for a home, even a temporary one. Now he plans to farm the ground instead of bulldozing it, planting corn and sunflowers, the same crops the Indians planted in this same ground centuries ago. Now, Brad Koldehoff stresses the site near Damiansville is very typical of the woodland Indians of that day. He said what is important, however, is that very few of those sites have been excavated. So the information they're gathering there is helping to put all the puzzle together about this region's Indian life years and years ago, much of it cataloged here at Cahokia Mounds. Reporting live from Cahokia Mounds, Steve Jankowski, News Channel 5.
A farm near the Clinton County, Illinois town of Damiansville is providing a rich harvest for archaeologists studying ancient cultures. Damiansville is about 35 miles southeast of St. Louis, and it is believed that this plot of ground was once the site of a village of woodland Indians. Materials found here in fire pits indicate they may have lived here 1,400 years ago, well before the development of the Cahokia Mounds. Researchers stress the artifacts found here are not as important as the information they provide.
Well, we don't really know much about what happened in the area 1,000 years ago because there is no written record, so we're actually creating a page to put into that prehistoric history book.
Now, the property owner in Damiansville, Illinois, had considered selling the ground for a nearby highway project. That prompted the visit by the archaeological team as required by state law.